An adjunct professor at a New York City college caught on video vandalizing a pro-life display has been fired. The teacher at Hunter College also insulted pro-life students and called their work, quote, propaganda. She also allegedly threatened a reporter with a knife after he tried to interview her. And we go now to Amber Athey, Washington editor at The Spectator and author of The Snowflakes Revolt, How Woke Millennials Hijacked American Media. Amber, great to have you back on. A lot to get to today. But first, I want to get your thoughts on that professor in New York and those disturbing outbursts and threats.
I'm really glad to hear that she was fired. Someone who would threaten a reporter the way that she did has no business being around young people and educating young minds, not to mention the fact that she had vandalized that pro-life display and essentially accused the pro-life activists of perpetuating violence, which is a great irony considering the fact that she, a few days later, was wielding a machete to someone who was trying to ask her questions about it. And unfortunately, these types of educators are the ones across the country in colleges indoctrinating young people and teaching them that people who have dissenting opinions from them are committing violence against them. So it's a good reminder of where that ideology comes from.
Yeah, and I want to pivot now to some big news today on the political front. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis officially throwing his hat into the ring for the 2024 presidential race and filing his paperwork today. Your reaction, and what does this mean for the Republican presidential primary race?
This seems like it was coming for a long time, and it's quite exciting that it's been officially made official, so to speak. And I think that his announcement plans are quite interesting. He's going to be going on a Twitter space with Elon Musk, as opposed to announcing through traditional media measures or through a speech. So I wonder if that's going to reduce the number of people who can actually listen to his announcement. It's also audio only. But I think that we'll see a lot of attempts by DeSantis to try to distinguish himself from the front runner, which is former President Donald Trump. He'll most likely talk about Florida's COVID policy and how the state refused to lock down for long periods of time. He'll also probably point a lot to his fight in his state against woke corporations, ESG standards, and radical gender ideology in schools, and will likely say that former President Trump did not do enough on those issues when he was in a position to do so.
Amber, I want to go back to that, him making that announcement on Twitter Spaces, a tool not really typically used for such a big moment. And a lot of people aren't familiar, that is, with that. Tell us more about it. What do you make of this tactic, and why do you think he's doing this?
Right. It's a very interesting tactic, as I said, because this is an audio-only platform, and he'll be in a moderated conversation with one of Elon Musk's closest confidants, basically doing an interview type format. And even a lot of people who use Twitter on a daily basis have never used the Spaces function. And it's also prone to a lot of technical difficulties. So if they have millions of people presumably listening in to DeSantis's announcement, I think a lot of people are going to be holding their breath that it's going to go off without a hitch from a technical standpoint. And then I wonder if the DeSantis team has thought about whether or not this will potentially diminish the ability of a lot of people to actually listen to what he has to say in the announcement, since it is such a non-traditional media method. And I think what DeSantis is signaling here is that he's not someone who has played ball with the traditional media landscape. He does not give interviews or access to mainstream media or corporate media outlets. And his campaign in the past, as well as his governor's office, has been relatively leak-free because he keeps a very close team. So I think that's just signaling that he's a different man than Trump, who, of course, but recently had a CNN town hall where he discussed what his platform would be for if he were reelected in 2024.
Amber, we have about 30 seconds left or so, but curious what else you're following.
Absolutely. It looks like Target has recently started pulling off some of the Pride-related apparel for children that they were advertising in their stores. However, they haven't apologized. Instead, they've actually blamed the right for allegedly threatening employees in response to this. So they're still going to be facing backlash and boycotts for marketing that type of content towards children.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Amber, always great to get your insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.